day make it out the hood and hope I'm living good. I said one day I be on, one day I be good. One day make it out the hood and hope I'm living good. I said one day I be on, one day I be good. One day make it out the hood and hope I'm living good. I said one day I be on, one day I be good. One day make it out the hood. Now have you ever had a dream? You make it out the hood. Hey, chill. It's Tiggy. Turn it. Yeah. I told y'all I was coming. Thought I was playing, huh? Hey, I said one day I be on, one day I be good. One day make it out the hood and hope I'm living good. I said one day I be on, one day I be good. One day make it out the hood.
Welcome to the Homeless Diaries, and yes, I am going to tell you the power of mentor, the power of networking, and a little bit about my story, and then I am going to give you some tips how to get a mentor. Okay, so let me tell you my story. Since I didn't have a solid foundation due to the fact that my father traveled me across America, and I don't have any family like that to where I can just be able to call and just do different have different choices. So if something happens, I'm gonna literally have to, like, for example, if I'm staying with you and you don't like what I did or anything like that, you can kick me out and I have to go to a shelter. I can't call anyone. So this is the reason why I am so self-sufficient, and I make sure that I try not to fail, because everything is supposed to be experiencing like homelessness and going to the shelters, back to back, and just sleeping in the cars. We finally went to this church because someone referred me to go to this church. It helped me and my family for a month. Great. So that's where it started there. The first networking is where, I decided that I wanted to be productive, right? I got connections with Twitter, and I explained the story a little bit more. Twitter, LinkedIn, Airbnb, Dolby. It was very good to know that, I was starting to get all these connections in while being homeless. And then Dale said one day, "Hey, it's going to be a special guest." I was like, oh, "Okay, great." So the special guest came in, and guess who it was, guys? It was Van Jones. Yes, it was Van Jones. And at this time, I didn't know who Van Jones was. Like, you guys stay motivated, etc. And then he was like, "What?" He was like, "What do you want to do?" Hit me out in front of everybody, guys. And I was like, I want to work into the tech field and by giving back. I want to work with the tech and the nonprofit organizations and somehow give back. And he said that, especially for women of color. And then you have both of that, both sides, the expertise, you can be able to succeed. And I was like, okay. And then felt like, I feel like he was a celebrity, but I didn't know, right? So I took a picture, and then the first picture, he was like, "Oh, that's too dark," and and he said, "Take another picture," and I said, "Okay." And then we took another picture, and I said, "Oh, okay, this person really wants to make sure his pictures is clear. He has to be somebody, because most people, I know me, if I would have took a picture and the picture's not okay, I'm like, whatever." So I'm like, he's somebody. He care about how he look. So later at home, I went to go look at it. I was like, oh, wow, he is amazing. If I would have knew that, I would have asked so many questions. Oh, my God, Van Joseph. If I would have knew that was you and what you do and the connections that we have. And, oh, my God. And then after that, I became a success story for Hamilton. So while I was homeless, Hamilton helped me out to become self-sufficient and help me, get in my housing. And, a success story, because I also wrote a book called Trapped in a Homeless Hustle. So I was invited to speak with Mayor Lee, but unfortunately, a couple of days, he passed. And then Later on, I established my business license for Hello Yoga Queen. So, due to the fact that I was homeless, I knew that I had to fix my mental state. And not only that, just as a black individual, period. Like, we're traumatized. We're traumatized. And any little thing like movies or little things that you say, white cops and all this is very traumatizing. So I decided that I needed to figure out what I can do to make sure that I am balanced, right? And not so worldly and get so caught up in those type of things. So that's when I decided to do yoga, and it is for, the everyday girl, and also for really woman of color, because when I decided to go in like to the yoga classes, um I was like the only black girl there, basically. And when I used to take pictures, people was like, I didn't know you did yoga, you was flexible. But that's not what your mental health and your wellness, guys. So that's all I'm about. So I got the business license, and then moving on, I got invited to Salesforce Ohana event to tell my sales success story again. So again, Salesforce in Hamilton invited me to speak. I was so excited. And this is where I met Michelle Glover and Jason Glover, which is there are now my mentors right now to this day. And they are marketing. She's a marketer, and he has his own cooking show, right? And their son is amazing. He plays the violin. And guys, I had like book shows, and he was there performing, and it was amazing. That diversity is amazing. And then I was invited to another event with Hamilton, which is with the ribeye, right? And just honoring him. And the only two speakers was me and him, guys. It was amazing. And we raised over $400,000 a night, and it was beautiful. And I got connected with Butler Andrew, which is still my mentor to this day. I got connected with CEO Tamika Moss, which we are now partnering. And I now have this new pilot that I am helping homeless people become self-sufficient with my We Care bags and my mentorship. And with this television show, you go back and look at these videos and learn how to get a mentorship. Yes, there will be a quiz after this. It's going to be the 8 steps, and there will be a quiz. And after that, being at the fact that I had connections with Tamika, I was invited to her going away new adventure party, because now she's the CEO of her own organization called All Home, which is exciting. And that's when the mayor came, which is very exciting. And I saw her there. She was talking, and she's very inspiring, and I'm so excited to be able to see her. And she knows, see my face around, because she saw me at work at my job. She came to my job before. Um, she also, I saw her at Tamika's All Home going away party, and her lunch party. So she see me there. Or also, I was on the news for K-Ron 4 News, and talking about homelessness, and that 5 out of 10 people that was experiencing homelessness was not aware. So it was very alarming, and it was very educational. And here we're going to jump into the 8 steps of how to get a mentorship. So, the first thing is I use these videos to educate people experiencing homelessness, transitioning out of homelessness, and the organizations that serve them. And this for anyone in general that just want to learn, how to survive or just tips and for your documentary, right? So, step number one, if you want to find like a mentorship, rule number one, and I have found out that um, not even just people experiencing homelessness or even my friends, and a lot of them don't have LinkedIn. And it's really amazing that you don't have LinkedIn. If you don't have LinkedIn, it's like a barrier for you because you're not able to connect on a different level. And personally, they don't want to give you their Facebook, they don't want to give you their Instagram, and you don't probably want to give them that type of information as well, vice versa. So on LinkedIn, which is my favorite, and how I learn and how I meet people through LinkedIn, right? So how I learned about LinkedIn is through Code Tenderloin. So when I was homeless, I said that I was going to be a productive citizen, like I told you before, that my dad always instilled in me. I went to Code Tenderloin, and I was like on CalWorks, which is like uh, low income government assistance, right? And I said, all right, I'm gonna go on that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go to school, which is for coding and software development. So I went ahead and went to Code Tenderloin, went through the first program, which is basically interviewing, learning how to find mentorships, learning how to connect to the real world, such as, etc. So I passed that class. I was really excited. I learned tips, and that's how I learned about LinkedIn, right? So, the course allow us to literally go to LinkedIn. I got a tour, talk to the co-work, to the people that worked at LinkedIn, and they gave us advice. Went to Twitter too as well, GitHub, just to name a few, and discovered the power of networking and mentorship. Once I finished that program, then I went to the second program, which is the learning the basics of the front end development. So as far as the mentorship on LinkedIn, this guy named Mark Mentry. I love him so much. I don't personally know him, but I learn from him every single day. And I advise you to follow him as well, and you will learn. So he says, everyone wants a mentor. Nobody wants to do the work to get a mentor. If anyone asks me to mentor them and I see a potential, I always give them a first task to prove they can put in the effort. 80% won't do it. Exactly. So if you want a mentor, just know that you have to do the work too. It's just like they're not going to just feed you all information and thinking that you're going to go all the way to the top. No, a mentor has to see potential in you as well. So you have to want it more than the mentor wanted, right? Because again, at the end of the day, this is your life. And he said, if you want a mentor, understand that it's a two-way street and it requires commitment and dedication. Exactly. No one's going to uh, work on your dream more than you work on your dream. And that's reality. Focus on your dreams, and when someone sees how hard you're going and dedicated, they will either want to help you or partner with you. Those are the only two things that and get inspired, right? And he goes on and says that also I would not like to sleep on LinkedIn. Then I would just do not sleep on LinkedIn. It's amazing. Like I started off, of course, with zero, and now I have like 1,500 followers. And it's hard to get followers, but every day people trying to follow me, and I don't have to follow people. People is following me, and my name is generating in the search bar, so or the recommendation bar. So on and saying LinkedIn is a resource for finding mentors and attracting like-minded people. Yes, I love LinkedIn. It's not gossip. It's not drama. It's not, you know, per se your personal life. You can, on a professional level, but it's professional. It's everyone wants to get to the next level. Here's some guidelines. If you want a mentor, don't ask, "Can you be my mentor? Can you be my mentor?" No, that's not how that goes. Okay? You need to be productive and be strong and be ready to ask your mentor, right? So the next thing is look at what they got going on in their life and figure out where they can use some help. Do not ask, just do it and send it to them. Yeah, that's a good one. So for example, me, I work with the homeless, and my goal is to help people become self sufficient. So I am working and partnering up with organizations that want me to help them in the community fundraising because right now with the COVID-19, it's hard for the fundraising. So we have to strategize and critique on different avenues to get not only the homeless self motivated, but also keep our programs running too as well. So the main thing is to look at what they got going on, especially right now. Everyone has a problem. Everyone has a problem, and you can resolve it. And I vouch, for myself, and anyone can basically vouch for me. When I work with you, I want to figure out how we can work together. I'm like, how can I help you? Because me helping you, it helps me grow. And that's what partnership is all about, right? So ask specific questions via message slash email first. This is the third one. Ask specific questions like, hey, are you available to chat Thursday at 3:30 or Friday at 1 p.m.? Not hi, I saw you ate this lovely dinner and this and this and that and this and that. Get to the point. People are busy. Get to the point. Hi, I'm doing this. Is there a way that I can be able to partner with you? Hi, I noticed that you are lacking in this and this and that problem. I have helped you with such and such. Is there anything else I can do for you? Be patient. Number 5. Be patient with the timing of their response. As I've learned, right, that from yoga is that when you learn yourself and when you are in tune with yourself, you don't take everything to the heart, right? You don't take everything to the heart. You know that stuff happens and and things that come in up to your mind is basically a story. You go what it says, be patient with the timing of their response. So here you go, you wrote them and then you're like, oh, they didn't write me back, or oh, this and this and that. Not knowing is that they had 3 to 4 meetings that day. They saw your message, but they couldn't get back to you. And yes, they probably did forget about, your message, that weekend. But guess what? That's when you follow up that Monday. Oh, Erica, I'm so glad you responded because honestly, I forgot. They're not going to say that, but honestly, they're forgotten. They was overwhelmed. So he goes on to say, treat them like a human. That's exactly what I was just saying. Treat them like a human. Honestly, I forgot. But they're not going to say that. But just think about it. Imagine how many messages and requests they receive every day of people wanting relationships. Just think about it. And then he goes on to say, one of my billionaire mentors, Okay. Once told me, "You are just like the younger version of me," and remind me of that fire. We often look at successful people and think there's nothing you can possibly do to help them. Wrong. Okay. So I'm gonna go through the list again. I just went step by step, and here's the list of how to get anybody to mentor you. Okay, and Mark Mentry from LinkedIn. You know, he has great posts every day, and I look at them and learn. Um, Number one, don't ask, "Can you be my mentor?" Number two, look at what they got going on in their life and figure out where they could use some help. Do not ask, just do it and send it to them. Number three, ask specific questions via message slash emails first. Number four, act on the advice they give you and show them. Number five, be patient with the timing of their response. Number six, treat them like a human. Imagine how many messages and requests they receive every day of people asking and wanting relationships. Number seven, one of my billionaire mentors once told me, "You are just like the younger me," and reminded me of that fire. Okay, so those are 8 tips to get anyone to mentor you. Okay, and I have learned that from Mark Mentry, and he is on LinkedIn. And if you have any other questions, I am here. Watch the other videos. The next one is definitely going to be on how to be self sufficient, and I'm not going to give you the topic yet. You got to stay tuned. Thank you so much. This is Erica Mosley.